broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command. Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
This is the Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 93 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm on the show again, and I'm joined with the demigod of sci-fi knowledge, the man that puts sci in sci-fi, and also that runs Martin's Sci-Fi Appeal, a great YouTube channel, which is well worth you checking out. And that is Martin Fowler. Hello, Martin.
Hello, and thank you for the accolade. I'm just going to have an ego trip.
You can feel the sort of, it's like you're simulating the energy,
I'm feeling the fucking cringiness right now. That's what I'm feeling. Having a smug mode.
At least I'm doing the sound
mode.
I used to do the sound effects and all sorts of things. I've eased off a bit on that now because
Well,
after 2 years...
you can add the cringy effect as well. I'll even give you a smug one.
Okay, if I remember,
There
I'll
you
do...
go.
I don't know what sound effect it is, but there'll be something on when we get this...
I no doubt you will find something.
I might do the Rent-A-Coast ping or something. I don't know. It's really sad.
God, no.
Yeah, I think that's what...
Is it possible for you to,
What? Oh, toilet flush again.
Well, no, at the end of the podcast, could we both
we could do. Now, listen, also, we have got to do the green screen thing before Christmas and do Space 1999, because that's going to be really funny. So
I
we'll
tried
do that.
I tried it messing about. I sat around like I looked a right dick.
Yeah. Did it work? It should work, though.
Well, it's 11 seconds, and I tried to I edited them in, and I was like...
Oh, so you did a countdown of the actual length of the thing?
Yeah, I tried to. I've messed it up.
Oh, I could do. Well, just do what you can. It's not exactly anything serious.
I just thought I'd experiment, but it does. It
works.
Done properly, it will be good.
If you do a green screen, and like I said, send me the green screen. I'll mix them all together, and it should be. And then we'll have the end saying "Merry Christmas" or something. It'll be funny. It'll be good. Anyway, so a bit of behind the scenes info for you for people to check out. And
I'd like to thank Trek Fan for sharing both our videos.
I know.
He's amazing. Trek Fan, you and your family, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And you've got to come on before Christmas. Or in the new year.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he has said that he's interested at some point, even if he just sends a video. But please, Trek Fan, you've always been so supportive of our content, and we really appreciate it. So please come on whenever's best for you. We'll even try and arrange a time if it's convenient for you. If Martin's free and I'm free, we'll do something
I'm
together.
free over Christmas. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll try and do that.
Unless I'm at a party at Downing Street. So I mean, but don't tell anybody.
No, I mean, as we're sort of recording this, it's all sort of breaking out. This party down the street last Christmas. The woman who did this press conference has just quit, and the whole thing's a complete farce because. Obviously, the government are supposed to be representatives of what you should and shouldn't be doing, and it's just it's a damage thing for them and their credibility.
I mean, to top it off, Anton Deck called him out last night.
Anton Deck, what did he? I can't stand.
I'm not making it up.
What did they do? What did they say?
I've seen the clip. With his party business, I know we don't get political on it.
No, I know.
About the so-called party, right?
Yeah.
Right. Anton Deck on their show, what they do. They turned around and said, well, the people in the jungle have had a vote and they've decided that they won't be having a party, but they will have a party. And other ones said, yes, Prime Minister, yes, yes. And fucking Deck calling out the Prime Minister. I mean, come on. Is that what we've...
No, but it's natural that people are going to think that. I mean, it's like... you should not be doing that. I'm sorry.
No, it shouldn't.
If we're supposed to be following their lead, they're the ones that's supposed to be showing us what to do. And if they're actually being hypocritical and doing things which they're not supposed to be doing, then how are people supposed to follow their lead?
Well, we will be starting the Solar One Sci-Fi political party, and if anybody would like to make donations to our political cause, we will make it law that you have to watch Doctor Who, not her. You have to watch Blake 7 and all the science fiction. We'll put it on the telly 24 hours a day. And all soap operas will be banned except Brookside.
Oh, Brookie, I'm still watching. I'm up to episode 1335 now. God. I love it. Every lunchtime, I come in and I just like I have it in the background, and it's
Where
awesome.
are you at now in the Great Side?
Jimmy Cork. Okay, so Trevor's underneath the patio. Jimmy Corkill is now getting into drugs. He's suddenly got his head.
Oh, that's the good ones.
Yeah, and it's great. I love it. I don't care. I know it's a soap opera, but it's
No, Brookside's cool.
I love Brookside, and I love the whole culture. I love the accent.
It was the most dangerous place to live in Britain at one time.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it was Channel 5 had this night of the most dangerous places in TV world.
Right.
And Brookside Close was number one.
Brookside Close was the worst. Yeah. Well, not surprised. Great show. And they are mostly on YouTube, the whole series. So although it might be episodes you might have to look around for them, but they are all there, and it's well worth checking out if you want to just lose yourself in 90s or 80s and 90s soap opera. Anyway, let's go on that note on to not a soap opera, but it's fun. It's under the sea. It's got Atlantis in it, but not the Atlantis from Stargate. Let's go into the jingle and we'll talk about a film that Martin recommended. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
All right, so Martin, over the last few weeks, you've been talking about potential films to watch, and Doug McClure came up, and I thought it was, what's the other film that he did? Which I didn't. The
Land That Time Forgot. The Return to the Land That Time Forgot, and then he did the one with Peter Cushing in the mall where they go to the center of the earth.
Right. Well, anyway, it wasn't that film. In the end, I watched the film. Now, I think I had seen this, but I was really young, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And that is Warlords of Atlantis, which features Doug McClure. It features very stereotypical British characters, also American, and it's. Now, I did like this film, but I seem to remember when I was a kid, all I remember is the submersible. And of course, I was fascinated as a kid that the water wasn't coming up into the submersible because they're underwater, because the water pressure, the water doesn't come up. And I seem to remember being fascinated and having like a cup or something in the bath, or something which you could see through, and the water was obviously not going into the bottle because of the same thing with pressure. So that's all I remember about it was the submersible. This film, I mean, I'll ask you how you got into it into a minute, but I got into it and I thought, it was quite a good, I mean, it had quite good production values. I thought that the monsters in it were pretty good. It was made in 1978, and I thought the music was good. I thought the sound effects were good, and it was actually a pretty good film. I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad that you recommended it. So obviously you know this film better than me. Tell me all about your opinion of Warlords of Atlantis.
Well, I mean Jurassic Park. I mean they're pussies compared to this guy. This is the true monster killer. This is the true monster killer. This was the man in his ripped shirt that could defeat rubber monsters. Doug McClure, the legend himself.
Doug McClure, yeah, and he was good. McClure. Yeah, I mean, I like his films.
Marvelous, and the dude from the Oneida line as well. You can't beat it.
Yeah, I mean, all his films have a similar, slightly cheesiness, but as we've discussed before, we don't mind a bit of cheese.
No,
if it's done in a creative way. I mean,
yes.
The thing is, you can have cheesiness, but the story's got to be compelling. It's got to be something which makes you think. So, from what I understand, so basically these aliens on a meteorite or something, they crashed on Earth under the sea, and that was Atlantis. And then, like I said, these people on a ship, they somehow, I don't know how they knew that they were under there, but they took the submersible. They end up in Atlantis, which was, although it's under the sea, the sun was still shining on their faces, which I thought was a bit odd. But that's fine. It's production values and everything like that. It was made in Pinewood as well, which is interesting. It was made in Britain.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite cool. But yeah, it was quite a good film. Something about it which I could see why you liked it. So did you see it at a young age? When did you first see it?
I went to my dad's cinema to see it, and it blew me away. I'll go into why in a minute. I appreciate this film because I think there's so much in it that if it was remade today on a massive budget, there's so much in this film. As a kid, I didn't see it, but when I watched it years later, I suddenly started noticing it. I think the English guy, the scientist,
Yeah.
I always thought he should have been a Doctor Who.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Oneida line with parents.
I know. I recognise the actor from something else. I didn't know what he was.
Yeah, he used to be really famous.
Yeah.
But I always thought, every time I see him, I thought he'd make a great Doctor Who. He would.
Reminds me a bit of Tom Baker for some reason. Slightly.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
something
about that.
The way
the way he's
look
stands,
about,
looks around. Yeah, the way he looks. Yeah, I can see that definitely.
But the film is like they. I think their Mars is dying. They escape. They're going to some other planet. Earth's gravitational pull pulls them in, and they're trapped here. And then, so what they do is, the civilization seems to be dying as well because the water levels are rising within that asteroid.
In the
slowly.
Right.
Yeah. But they're all like, there's these like highly evolved Martians, and they're pushing humanity like through weird psychic means to create the nuclear atomic energy so they can head off back into space. But there's been problems like these mutations and all that, and monsters running about.
Because they had monsters, but they were Earth monsters. They were Earth dinosaurs and creatures from the Cretaceous period. But they also had slaves as well. Were the slaves human, or were they also
the Guardians? You mean them with them cool helmets on?
Well, the helmets remind me a bit of H.R. Geiger's kind of designs, for xenomorphs. I saw that, and I thought to myself, it does have influence. And I wonder whether part of that was influenced with Geiger when he made the xenomorph designs.
No.
But that was
you made a good point there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thought about that.
Yeah, there was a different.
I never thought about. I always thought they were cool.
Yeah, I thought they were very cool. Very unique, and you couldn't really see their eyes and faces. But I like that a lot. That was a good design.
I like the story. When they put that helmet on his head to drain his intelligence,
and then because they were trying to work out ways of getting. I know they were learning about what humanity is doing and what they could potentially be, and use that technology to get off. And I liked it. I thought that was solid.
There's so much in this film. I mean, the story is them getting out and escaping, but even the ending of this movie, when nobody won because even though they got away, they were still down there doing what they were doing. So it was like, that's what I loved about this film. And I love the scene when they try getting the diving bell out and there's that Atlantean dude firing up the water, exploding the water.
Yeah, it's all coming up. Yeah, it was good.
This is a great film.
Yeah.
There's so much in it. I mean, even the name, the Warlords of Atlantis. Yeah. And when I was a kid, I was like, and the poster for this was great. I really wanted to see. This, for me, is the best Doug McClure movie. For me.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some of his others, but I mean, it just stood up for me. From somebody watching it in 2021, I could definitely see. I wish I'd remembered it more when I saw it when I was younger, because it is definitely a film. I'm really glad you told me about it and we checked it out because it was solid. It had good value, good story, good production values. I don't think it was too tacky or cheesy. I mean, it had a bit of it, but I think on the whole it held up pretty well. I have got no complaints about it.
He's such a man, though, isn't he? Because she's in love with him, but he goes back and leaves her.
Yeah, I thought she would. I thought, why couldn't she go with them? Why did she stay?
I think because when they live down there, they do something to the neck. Didn't you remember that thing on the neck?
Oh, I must.
It converts the atmosphere so they can live down there.
They can't live up in normal air. Okay.
Yeah, they can't go back, but they haven't been operated on yet. That's how they go back.
Right.
But it's just a great film. This like how they're manipulating humanity in the background as well.
Yeah, they just
love all that.
Yeah. Although they looked obviously human, they weren't human. They were obviously alien. But
they are dying themselves. because there were 7 cities of Atlantis, weren't there?
Oh, there's only so it's like 3 left.
Because the water was rising and the monsters and the dinosaurs, they couldn't control them. So they were. That's what I liked about it, because they weren't evil or bad. it were about their survival, and that's what I found fascinating. You got the standard story with greedy crew and all that. That was just all added in, you know. But the main story is that this race have got to get off Earth, or they're gonna. If they stay here any longer, they're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
And the manipulating in the background. Love the film. Great.
Yeah.
Love remake of this, definitely.
Yeah, it's funny how certain films don't get remade. This should definitely have been remade by now. I mean, if it was made in '78, it's a long time ago now. It's definitely worth. I mean, it's heading towards what 45 years, whatever it is. That's a long time. And it's funny how, you know, Hollywood should look at some of these films. It could be really big, and it could be really. We imagine all the CGI creatures and the submersible. They redesign it, and Atlantis. Maybe they have some weird shield to explain why. You know, they could do it in a really cool way.
Film. It's a very intelligent. The story is second to none, and it's unique. This film and a lot of people probably haven't even heard of it. You know,
I know. I have a very vague memory of it with the submersible, but that's the only thing I retained. It's not well-known film. It's definitely not a well-known film. It's one of those films that you tell me about and then you recommend it, and normally it's good. Like you got me into The Hidden and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, it was definitely a solid film. I suppose they could have had a sequel to it. I don't. How well did it do in cinema?
I don't know. I don't know. This came out at the same time as Superman.
Oh, did it? Okay,
I think so. Because
Superman was huge though, so it probably
on the day we were gonna go see Superman, we couldn't get into it. So do you remember we used to queue to get in?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, we went to see this instead, and I was just as satisfied to seeing this than even Superman. You know.
Well, Superman was huge when it came out, so that's probably what happened.
Couldn't get into the cinema.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's why it got lost, because the Superman was such a big film. And that's why you saw it as a second choice, because Superman was so. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? But at least you got to see it and check it out.
Never forgot this film. Never forgot.
No, I'm really glad. I'm really glad I saw it. I mean, I saw a DVD copy of it, so I don't think it's ever been released on Blu-ray.
I don't think it is. There was a Doug McClure box set come out years ago.
Right.
I think the 4 movies, The Two Land That Time Forgots, and the Mole one with Peter Cushing, where they go to the centre.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think that's it. But I had that set. I don't know what happened to it. It was years ago. Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? But no, really good film, very solid. I'm really glad that I've seen it. It's just a shame it's not more well known. And it's always it's funny how certain films get so popular, and other films which are sometimes made very well, very competently, very well acted. Well, I mean, Doug McClure is not the best actor in the world, but he was fine in his role. And yet they get lost somehow. They get sort of overshadowed, as in this case with Superman. A real shame.
A weird one, Doug McClure, isn't it? His career. It's weird, isn't it? How he ended up king of the monster killers and Cannonball Run too.
Yeah, I did certainly have an interesting film
weird career, because I think he started in a cowboy series. I think that's where he started. But British fella,
he's always associated with these slightly offbeat kind of
like
films.
Weird movies,
Yeah, I don't know.
But the English fella, he was a big star. I forgot his name now. But he ended up in some the Oneiden line. It was on every week. Parents used to watch.
Never saw that. I know the name of it.
No, it had this big musical thing to it, and it was about some guy building a boat empire in Victorian times.
Yeah.
You know, it would go. I mean, my parents watched it. I mean, I was like, but it was a soap opera, So, but a great film and a great cast. It was just, I enjoyed it. Loved this movie.
Well, you never know. Somebody might watch this and it might inspire Hollywood to make a brand new version just because of this podcast.
Yeah, but it's the name, isn't it? The Warlords of Atlantis. I mean,
it works for me. Yeah, it works for me.
So.
I mean, there's been quite a few versions of Atlantis. Obviously, Stargate Atlantis, but there's been other films which involve Atlantis. You could just, Internet Movie Database probably has about like 15 films which have Atlantis in it. But no, sound film, good production, and I'm really glad that I've seen it and obviously reviewed it with you. So, Any other words about this film before we finish up?
No, yeah, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it's your choice for next week. So I'm
next
glad you
week.
watched it.
No, I mean the thing is, we do that.
Your choice, your turn. No.
One film, it's going to be a long time away, but one film I would ask you to check out for next Halloween, which is a long time away, is The Mist. The film, not the TV version, which is shite. The movie version is really, really good, and you'll love it. I think you'll really like it.
Right.
So we'll do that at some point next year. Right, and on that note, let's go into our sci-fi news and talk about Doctor Who. Here we go.
Working.
So the sci-fi
News.
Right, so this week, I haven't got a ton of news. We obviously had a new episode of Discovery, and we've had a new episode of Doctor Who. So let's go into Doctor Who first. Now, you did a review of it on your channel, and I think you put something on there like, what a waste of time. So let's ask you, before I give you my opinion, what went wrong with it? What was the issue with the actual episode?
Well, I was round at my mate's last night, and he sort of in and out with it, and we discussed it, but right. I did say in my review, I said on the podcast we have defended it, and we've both enjoyed it. For 5 weeks, we have not complained about it. We sat back. Every week, we've gone into it. It's been enjoyable. But the one thing we knew that there was a WTF moment was the final episode, but it does have a get out clause.
I think so too. Let me say,
get out clause.
Well, okay, I personally think that it's not really the end. I mean, they made another 3 specials, and so the whole thing is that basically we all thought that this episode was going to be the resolution of the flux, and there were some elements which were resolved. But it was, I made the analogy, it was like basically eating a toffee with a wrapper on. It was kind of like you got it, you're trying to eat it, but it's nothing from it. It was kind of like, well, what happened? And it sort of fizzled out. So you had to build up all these things. You had the flux, and then you had the Sontarans, and you had the character that was at UNIT, and you had Kate Stewart back, but it kind of just fizzled out. It was just literally suddenly there was Cybermen and dark ships, and suddenly there was I actually got lost in it. I don't really quite know what happened. Well, I just got a bit lost in the whole thing. I
like cheesy villains, right? And I found that when it came to cheesy villains, right, the Grand Serpent, what a wanker. Loved him. He was so cheesy and bad.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to give the guy a chance. He's so cheesy that it's nice to see a cheesy baddie.
Yeah, right? But a cheese,
and we had him in the episodes manipulating UNIT from its origins and all this, and Kate Stewart stands up to him in 21st century. But then he's meeting the Sontarans, and then suddenly steps through a door, and he's on
and then he's in space or something. Yeah,
and it's like, well, what is the point? What have you been doing?
What a waste! What was the whole point of you having that?
Where were you going with this agenda for like 100 years, 50 years, whatever? And it was pointless.
Yeah.
Now the two, what is it? Swarm and Azor. I liked them too in the beginning. I thought they were when they murdered people, they were very nice about it, and I like that. Oh, it's all right. I don't really want to do this, but you are in the way, and I'm going to have to kill you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Sorry.
And I loved that, and the dress really cheesy, and they were cheesy and out there baddies. Nice to see this again. Mm-hmm. And then it came out that them two were just a pair of henchmen.
Yeah, because we had something called Time.
Time,
yeah, that's right.
And they were nothing.
Time. We saw Time that first resembled one of them, and then resembled like an evil version of the Doctor. But I mean, the thing is, this is obviously going very much like the last season of David Tennant's, where it was specials. Yeah. And this is, and it even had a very much of a parallel where somebody said to the Doctor, "Your time is ending soon," almost exactly the same as what happened with David Tennant in the last episode. So there's a big parallel there.
The 3 knocks or something like
so
that.
I personally think that basically, although this is the end of the flux, it's not. the episodes they made directly afterwards, the 3 specials, literally, they just next day was the next special, and so really, I mean, I consider that the 3 specials next year. It's not. It's just the continuation of season 13.
Well, it's
just
a book.
the same.
It's a book. Last year we got chapter 1.
Yeah.
This year we got chapter 2, and this is its get out clause. This is where it gets
That's
away.
why I know that's what
the
I'm going to say. Yeah, it all comes down, and they'll have to. I think what it is, we all thought it would all be explained in episode 6, and that was it. That would be the resolution. It's not. It's basically it's on hold, and we've got to wait for 3 more episodes to get all the. Well, I assume get all the answers or most of the answers.
Well, it was like Division, like this all-powerful Time Lord.
Yeah, like almost like a Section 31 of Gallifrey or something.
Yeah, but then what point at Time War? Where were the Division when they were fighting the Daleks? Where were they?
Yeah,
they've made the Time War insignificant now to me. This thing where they're going to merge one universe
it's all messed up.
with the other.
Yeah, I know.
It's very screwed up.
Yeah.
Now the universe is half devastated, and it were left at that. But the thing is, you see the build-up with the villains and all that. It were all going somewhere for quite a few episodes, and then we got this episode, and we got no conclusion to anything. I mean, the Flux got absorbed by the Passenger. That could have been done earlier on. It were all over the place, and we didn't get even like if you get a series of 3 books, right? Yeah. At the end of each book, you get either a good cliffhanger or some kind of conclusion. You got nothing, and then they brought in the Fob Watch, but they did say that time entity. There's somebody else behind the scenes in this.
Well, it's very obvious.
You know
it's the Master.
It's the Master. Yeah,
has to be.
Because where did he go with Cyberlords?
And also, one thing which they have let slip, and they'll have to. We saw the Ruth Doctor very briefly for a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think she would have been called back to film about 10 seconds of footage. So she's definitely going to be in one of the specials, I think, before it all wraps up next year. I think, to a larger degree.
The key to all of this is in that Fob Watch.
Which will have to be. They will have to get that. I mean, please don't leave it in the TARDIS for another 10 years or something. We've got to get answers.
No, well, that's where the new regeneration will come from, is the Fob Watch.
Wow, there's another thing I was going to say, they've already dismantled the TARDIS sets. Apparently, the TARDIS at the moment is gone. So right. and they haven't yet filmed or chosen, from what I understand, the new Doctor. So that tells me that when the Doctor regenerates this time, it'll be the first time in New Who that the Doctor will regenerate not on the TARDIS.
Yeah,
which is quite an interesting thing.
Yeah. So there's something with the Fob Watch. That's the key to all of this. All of it is going to be unwrapped, but we're not going to know till the end of next year.
Yeah,
I think that annoys me more. I would have liked to have seen this finished on New Year's Day. Personally, I'd like to have got an hour and a half special and just finish it, get her regenerated and move on. What's annoying now, they're going to milk this. Yeah. So we get one New Year's Day, right? The Daleks again.
It's going to be a Groundhog Day. It's going to be like a Groundhog Day episode. Looks quite good, actually.
Yep. Right.
I don't mind that. I like.
Right,
I mean, there was a different clip. At the end of the episode, they had a brief kind of clip of the new episode, but then online there's a different one. It's completely different, and it is literally looping. Right. I love the Groundhog Day looping episodes in Sci-Fi.
Right. Okay.
So that to me looks good. I love that. So it might be good. It might be cool.
So we're sat on the fence on this, both of us. So we can't put judgment upon.
No, we will have to wait until the last episode of season or the specials next year. We're going to wait.
So 5 episodes I enjoyed of this season. I think she come into it a bit more. I thought Yaz
I do too.
Come into it.
I think also
she's more comfortable now.
They got rid of Graham, who was the worst actor in Doctor Who's history. He's gone, thank God. I like the Bradley Walsh character. What was his name? What was Bradley Walsh's character? But hey, I liked him, but Graham was a terrible actor. I mean, he was just
the comedian.
I can't ride a bike, Doctor.
Well, he's gone to Hollywood.
He was terrible. He was terrible. He's a terrible actor.
I know. But do you know what annoyed me about it? Do you know the comedian guy?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember his name. The Liverpool
I
guy.
forgot his name. But you know when he's like he's back on Earth, right? And he goes to meet her for the date or something, and she just like I assume she's got no memory of what's happened.
I don't know. I suppose.
And she just dumped him.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's a bit unfair, isn't it? You know, I thought, oh, come on. And then he's walking along, his life destroyed. And she's there going, come on, come in the TARDIS. Come on, we'll go in. Come on, you know.
Yeah,
So-
I kind of like that though. I like. Is it John the character? I think he's a good character.
But I thought Jodie Whittaker was a lot better this season. I like the interrogation. Because Serpent Master, the Grand Serpent, cheesy as anything. When she said to him, well, you're an ex-dictator, and then it's so, I mean, she just totally screwed him over. And I like, there is things in this, but what did it for me, the one crowning glory of this episode was the Sontarans.
They were very
marvelous.
Good. But I mean, is it at the end that again Earth has forgotten the invasion again? Because they had this so many times where the Daleks have invaded.
I don't know.
Do they not know that the Sontarans occupied Earth? And
I don't, maybe because the timeline went out of flux, and
maybe it's been erased or something.
That's why when he went to meet her for that date, and he didn't, she might have no memory of what's happened.
Yeah,
you know.
But the Sontarans are great. They were. I love the new makeup, and I think that I still think it was good. I think that they've really tried this season.
I just feel, right. This has been the best season out of the 3 seasons.
Out of the 3,
I'm not gonna say that, but these villains and this story, it just went over the cliff.
Do you know what it was?
It for me.
I think also they probably would have originally done like 10 episodes. They've had to rush it, condense it because of the COVID. Yeah. So it might not be all Chibnall's fault. It might, if it could have been the pacing slightly slowed down, a bit more exploration of these different sections, these different characters, it might not have all been his fault. I mean, they managed to get a shorter season at least. We've had that, I'm happy with it. Like I said. I think that basically we can't, as we already said, we can't have a proper opinion until this time next year once we've seen Jodie Whittaker's tenure as the Doctor finished, and then we'll do another review or something. We'll have a proper discussion about the whole season, or the whole that era of the Doctor, which has certainly been a different one. So that's Doctor Who. So again, another show which of course we've seen is Star Trek Discovery Episode 3. Now I'll go into this one. I quite liked it. It was slower paced. It had 3 storylines. It had the Navarre storyline. It had the Trill character being separated and going into a new body, a la Picard, which was all right. And there's another storyline as well. What do you think of Discovery?
This is like Doctor Who, isn't it? It is. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. I thought the old Trill thing were a bit monotonous, but I mean, you know, you get touchy-feely.
The thing is,
you get touchy-feely, don't you? So you need it in there, I suppose.
Yeah,
but
it's
all
only
right.
part of the story as well. If it had been the whole story, just that. But because it was only part of it, I'd let them get away with that personally.
I have to say, I was blown away by the effects in it.
Well, I like the new starship. We actually saw a different starship this week. We got to see one of those. We didn't see one shot of the Discovery or the bridge or anything, but it was. Or we saw a new. It's almost like a stroke. It's like a mix between Quark's Bar and 10 Forward, and it's a new sort of. And we saw a Ferengi in there, a Ferengi bartender with the terrible new makeup, which is awful, because some people were saying that Ferengi we saw, it might have just been because it was mixed race. It's not. They've redesigned the Ferengi. And why? Why do they keep redesigning these classic? Why? I hate that. People. It really pisses me off. I don't like it. I'm sorry. They don't do that on Star Wars.
I have a prediction to make. I have a prediction.
Go for it.
The president of the Federation is going to be a villain.
She's going to be the president's version of Kai Wynn.
Yeah.
She is so Kai Wynn. You could just see that she's going to have her own agenda. She's going to be Kai Wynn, and the Admiral's going to be more like Bennett Bral or something.
The Admiral, he will become the. He will. Be,
I like
he
him.
Will I do. I like.
Good.
He's going to become the president.
There's going to always be like a civil war or something.
he's going to become. There's going to be a standoff somewhere.
I think it's going to be a civil
this.
war. I think there's going to be a civil war in the Federation. It's going to be,
and he'll become the president.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now. I bet that's where I think this is going, because when that her from Navarre had killed that Starfleet officer, and they were the same people that were in Picard, weren't they? That order.
Yeah, the order. I can't remember the name, but it's the same. Same order.
When she killed it, she said to him, she said, well, what about justice for his family? And she said, oh, it's much bigger than that, you know. And I thought, here we go. This is where I'm going to find it. I like your analogy. That is, we've got a Kai Wynn on the loose.
Yeah, she's a Kai Wynn.
I think it's
very. You could just see she's a Kai Wynn.
Yeah.
I saw it last week. I thought, oh, I know where they're going. It's going to be Kai Wynn. They said it's not a Bajoran. It's going to be a Federation. It's going to be a Kai Wynn. Exactly the same principle.
What did you think to that new alien race? Do you think?
I think we're going to come back and they're going to be bloody awful. I think awful in bad. Not
well, like the Vardoir in Voyager.
Vardoir, I thought that on Voyager. I thought exactly the same thing.
That, yeah.
I thought it's a parallel between
They've
the Vardoir and Voyager.
New monster in the universe.
Definitely. Yeah, they're going to come back. And I have to say, it's all shaping up quite well for Discovery.
Yeah.
Next week, I've seen. Go on.
She seems very. I'm going to say this. I know we've had to go at Burnham before, but I actually quite like her now. She seems. Since they made her captain, she seems very comfortable.
Very, very good.
And I'm quite liking her. I love her relationship with Saru because I like Saru.
I love it. Very, very Tuvok and Janeway. Very Tuvok Janeway. I think it's all shaping. I mean, they said that we won't know for sure if they're going to get a fifth season until they've shown episode 6, apparently. In previous years, apparently, when they've shown the 6th episode, that's when they confirm they will make a season. Right. I think they will make at least one more season. And I'm on board now. I think they've really sorted out what they've finally got their heads around it. I'm really getting used to this new era in Starfleet in the future. Bring it on.
It's because they're free now. And maybe this is where it'll all turn around. Let's hope.
I think Discovery, in the end, it's definitely it's still at the back of my likes for the favorite Star Trek series. Yeah, but it's gone up a lot. One thing, if you could just make the alien makeup fit in with canon, it would make. I know it sounds so not important, but to me, just get the makeup right. Make a Ferengi look like a Ferengi. Make a Klingon look like a Klingon. I know it sounds daft, but they should just do that, and that's what I don't like about the series.
Do you think the anomaly, the primordial wormhole, or the dark matter anomaly, DMA, as Stamets called it, do you think that there is a malevolent force behind it, or do you just think it's something that's just appeared? It's just, I don't know, it's something in the universe that needs setting right. Do you think? I'm hoping, for me, I'd like to see some malevolent force controlling it.
Well, it shows some intelligence because it moved direction.
Yep.
Which tells me that there is not a naturally occurring phenomenon. It does tell me that there's something behind it. Yep. Personally,
I think it's connected. It could be connected to them aliens they found.
Yeah, but that's what I'm wondering. The Vardoir.
Yeah.
Obviously,
the Vardoir. Let's call them the Vardoir.
Let's call them the Vardoir 2.
Yeah.
Vardoir 2.
Vardoir 2. Yeah.
I think there might. It's funny how they've suddenly come along just when this anomaly is becoming more prevalent in the. So I think there could be more to it. I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, so far we've had
predictions.
And Doctor Who.
What predictions? Where do you think? Where do you think?
So predictions. Go? I think there's going to be a Starfleet Civil War.
Yep.
I think that the Vardoir 2s are going to be somehow behind it, using this anomaly for their own ends. That's what I think.
There's some connection, and her as the president is a Kai Wynn.
Yeah, she's a Kai Wynn, and I suppose that the Admiral's a bit more like Bennett Baral or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I predict that the Admiral, I mean, we could be wrong, but I think the Admiral will become the president of the Federation.
I'd like to see that, or they'll kill him off, which will be like a shock or something like that. You know, I don't know, but let's just see. I mean, like I said, they've obviously now, you know, give them their credit. They really have tried to listen to the fans and try to get it more like Star Trek. And it's been a very, very, very slow process. I think they messed up the card quite badly. But then, and people say, well, look, the first seasons of most Star Trek series are not right. It just doesn't click.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And that's a big yes to just about all the Star Treks. So they're in the 4th season now. They've obviously been doing this quite a few years now. Since 2017? It's quite a long time they've been doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm cautiously optimistic that we're going somewhere which I want to be involved in watching and enjoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Now you've also seen how many episodes of the new Lost in Space have you seen?
They only released 8
You've just finished it.
episodes.
Yeah, have you seen it? I think you said before.
I finished it on when did they release it?
1st December,
I caught it Monday. I finished it Tuesday.
I've seen the first 2, but I'll say so far very good, very high production standards. And what we were discussing is that when we come back in January, I think it's going to be our first show. When we come back, will be the Lost in Space, the entire show.
No spoilers, but it does come to a very satisfying conclusion for me. I found.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. What else have we? There's not been a lot of other news.
Expanse, that's on its way now.
Is that the 10th of December it comes out?
Oh God, is that this week?
Is that this week, or am I wrong about that? I might be wrong. Maybe I'm I just remember somebody saying something about the 10th of December. Maybe that's my imagination.
Well, on 31st of December, Cobra Kai season 4's coming.
Yeah, well, I've not seen Cobra Kai, but
I do recommend Cobra Kai.
Yeah, right. I mean, also watching Foundation as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to. Yeah, you got to see the rest of that. I've seen. That's another series. There's been a bit more of a release of what's his name, Boba Fett. That's coming along soon. That's only 3 weeks to go until that comes out. That's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Oh yeah, that's the big daddy in it now.
Well, I think after last year, The Mandalorian, I think that that's going to be the big one for me this year. And then, like I said, I mean, we've got so many shows we're watching now. All those months with nothing, I'm very entertained, so I'm very happy, and it's good to finally have some stuff to talk about with you. So it's really cool. So, any other news you're in?
No, we've got The Matrix coming and Spider-Man. That's it, really.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not sure about The Matrix. I might go and see it, but I definitely want to check it out.
I don't know. I'm not really. I'm curious, but I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, I can see it.
To me, Matrix was done 20 years ago.
It was done 20 years ago.
Unless they're going to put something new in it. I don't know. I'm sat on the fence.
Yeah, let's just see it. And obviously, it might be worth a show focusing on that once we've both seen it. All right, so I think we'll wrap things up. Next week, we're going to be back with Critters, the first Critters film, which is quite a fun, silly sci-fi film. But I'd like to do that with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, perfect.
And then we've just got one more special, which features Alvida St. Pet, which will release over Christmas.
Yes.
And the other thing we're going to be doing is a Space 1999 rip-off intro, aren't we, for Christmas Wishes?
Yes.
Which is going to be fun. But that should be good. So we'll look forward to doing all that. So Martin, thank you very much. We're going to leave with, I came across this song called Warlords of Atlantis. It's not anything to do with this film, but it's got the same title, and it's sort of a poppy techno thing, and I don't know why, but I just thought it's a song to end because it is called Warlords of Atlantis on an episode based on Warlords of Atlantis.
Okay,
Martin, thank you very much. We will see you next
long
week
and prosper
on the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. Thank you very much.